What is up everyone, Pitch here. Today I'm going to be doing top lane fundamentals. This is all you people who some games go 1-10, next game they'll go 10-0, all about consistency. Let's get started. Early game. Best way to be consistent is to have a plan that you follow every single game, a loose plan. So what we're going to do is going to make a priority list here. We'll put high priority up here and low prio down here. Okay, number one, minions. Too many of you guys just going for kills, ignoring minions, ending up with 5 CS per minute every game. If you want to make a living in real life, what would you rather do? Would you rather, over the course of 5 years, go to a casino every day, try and make a living? Or would you rather work a full-time job, get a consistent income? That's literally the difference between minions and solo kills. Minions are consistent gold and XP income. Every single game, you can reliably get minions, but solo kills, not something you can rely on. Okay, next up on the list is, oh shit. Okay, below minions, we have punishing laner mistakes. I want you guys to really get in the mindset where the only time you're looking for harass, damage, or even solo kills on the enemy is when they're making mistakes. Because most of the time, if you're trying to be forcing plays, they're not going to be going well for you every time. This also includes looking at your own minions. When they start to get low health, they go for the last hits. You want to be hitting them because while they're hitting the minion, they obviously can't deal damage to you. In fact, do you know what goes above minions? Jungle tracking. 95% of people watching this video right now do not know a thing about jungle tracking. One of the most important things on top lane is not dying. It's so important to not die. Think of how many minions, how much XP, how much gold you miss every time you die and the enemy laner crashes that minion wave into the tower. And the biggest way that you're going to be dying is the jungler. It's his job to fuck up your day. So you need to know what buff is he starting at. If he starts bot side, it's likely that you're going to get ganked between 2-minute 30 and 3-minute 30. Second thing coming from this is the 3-minute 15 scuttle crab. Super important on top lane. Think about where's your jungle starting, where's their jungle starting, where's your jungler going to end up, where's their jungler going to end up. Do you have priority? Does their mid laner have priority? All these things need to be factored in at the 3-minute 15 mark. If you have priority, you need to help your jungler secure that scuttle crab. So jungle tracking involves focusing on where the enemy jungler started and also making sure you get useful wards. I say useful wards because warding is not enough. Just warding is not enough. You need to know the best places to ward and also the best times to ward. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to put one more thing above minions is TP flanks. People do not rate TP flanks enough. TP flanks can literally win you games from the 5-minute mark. If you're able to turn 3v3 coin flip, even a 2v2 coin flip that you think could potentially win, then it's so important to be using your teleport on bot lane to secure kills. If you're using your teleport to get back to lane every single game, then you're just missing out on such an advantage you could be gaining. Trust me, making sure you can secure the fight can be so worth missing maybe a wave or two. But it is also important to not just TP whenever you see anything going on bot lane. You need to evaluate if it's worth it or not beforehand. Okay, moving on to the mid game. This one will not be a priority system because it doesn't quite work the same in the mid game. But this is just a list of things you really need to be thinking about every single game. Okay, first of all, how to use TP. People don't understand that the mid game on most top laners revolves entirely around your teleport. I know I've mentioned teleport a few times now, but it is very much necessary for you to be taking teleport in maybe 95% of your games. I really don't recommend you taking anything other than teleport unless you really know what you're doing. I mean, some serious confidence. If you're one of those players who's taking Ignite every game, looking for that level 3, level 2 solo kill, some games you go 10-0, some games you go 0-10, trust me, try TP. It will do wonders. So, how to use TP. You need to be thinking about how long is Dragon, how long is Baron, because you need to be using this to join fights and secure objectives, because what you can do is draw pressure on opposite sides of the map to the objective that's coming up and then teleport to the objective, and they have to make a decision to let their tower fall or give up the objective. And that is the most important thing in climbing, is forcing your enemies to make difficult decisions, because that's how people make mistakes. Punishing people's mistakes is how you win games. Okay, secondly, you need to figure out, am I a split or a team fight champion? Depending on which, you need to be doing different things in the mid game. If you're a split pusher, side lane, every moment of your entire existence, you need to be in the side lane. Forget what your team's doing, forget they even exist. Side lane, ward, pressure, push, threaten. Easy. Team fight. You want to be constantly putting pressure on the enemy, you know, grouping with your teammates, looking for enemies who are out of position, and just force. If you think you're stronger than the enemy, then just force. And this comes up to our next point, is evaluating power spikes. Okay, before you make any decisions in the mid game, you need to be looking at the scoreboard, figure out what items do people have, who's fed, who's not, who's hit their power spikes. Is the mid lane Yasuo 6-0 on the enemy team? Because if he is, you want to avoid him like the plague, or you want to really try and shut him down. And sometimes it can even be worth, you know, sacrificing your own life just to get that 700 gold shutdown. But this is so important. You need to be looking at, you know, stopwatches, huge power spikes, things like this. Because if you decide to make a risky play and say they've got a stopwatch that you didn't think of, that can literally lose the game right there and then. So it's so important that you think about this. Okay, moving on to the late game now. This is what I'm talking, maybe 30, 35 minutes. People are on 5-6 items. Some people are full build. First thing, dragon. Is it up? If there are still dragons to be taken at this point, then you must be in some serious low elo game, or junglers don't know what they're doing. But anyway, dragons, objectives, so important. Baron also. You want to be just literally playing the entire game around these things. If neither of them are up, there's no need to force. If either of them are up, then feel free to force, you know? If Baron's up, you need to be on the top side of the map. If the Dragon's up, you need to be on the bot side of the map. If your teleport's up, you can even be on the opposite side of the map. These are things you need to be thinking about, maybe 1 minute to 30 seconds at the absolute latest before they come up. You need to be thinking about this ahead of time. You can't just be like, oh, Dragon's just spawned, I should probably make my way down bot, because then it's too late. Now, another real important thing is dying. I know you've had those games where you've been so far ahead, you know, the game's pretty much secured, you accidentally get caught out, you've got a 50-second death timer, and they end the game. Dying. So important that you do not die unless it is very, very necessary. So, for example, let's say you sacrifice yourself to win a team fight, because it can be seriously game losing if you just get caught out for absolutely no reason. You need to be putting your life ahead of other things. Also, another thing to think about is, am I full build? Because if you are, stop taking everyone else's minions. And that's just a little thing. This isn't too important, but hey, I see far too many people just soaking up minion waves in camps, even though they've got full build. One thing you can take into your games as a top laner is to try and be the primary shot caller for your team. And what this involves is making the decision on whether you want to give up Dragon, give up Baron, for maybe a scenario that doesn't quite put you quite so far behind, because you need to think about how you can't get every single Dragon. You can't get every single Baron. And there will be players who will see they'll be the only person alive and the enemy team will be taking Baron, and their instinct is, oh, I'm going to steal it. When realistically, they could have taken 2 towers bot lane while everybody's top side. So you need to evaluate what is a trade-off we can make that puts us as less far behind as possible, I guess. I don't know how to word it, but you want that gap in gold to be as small as possible. If you're even, they take Baron, and then you decide to take bot tower, and then bot inhib tower, and then bot inhib, and then you've got super minions spawning. It can really make that difference. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Hope this was educational, and I'll catch you in the next video.